What would be your guys' emotion that you would add?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, right.
No,
I gotcha.
hold on a second.
It should be nothing but smooth sailing for...
Hello? I'm anxiety. Where can I put my stuff?
And Inside Out 2, we see a couple new emotions. The most compelling, I would say, is probably anxiety.
Yeah.
So tell us about how your character Fear sort of interacts with anxiety and how they go hand in hand in a way.
Yeah, I love that you said compelling because that's the one I resonate with the most. One of my questions when I started was like the distinction between fear and anxiety, and I do love that they said fear is kind of what's in front of you all the time, and then anxiety is the what if, what could happen, and all the scenarios we create and all that kind of stuff, which I'm very familiar with. And so that's what this movie, why I love it so much, is they've made something so complex like the emotional life very accessible. I mean, and fear and anxiety is just a prime example of that.
Going through this film, how has that kind of impacted the way you see it when you do have a daughter yourself,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And probably going the same things that Riley's been going. So how do you
Yeah.
feel being a part of the film?
It's well, the first one was not just one of my favorite animated movies. It was like one of my favorite movies of all time. And it's just brilliant. And having a daughter now, she's 18 now, so I needed this movie a good like 5 years ago. But it's just, not only do they feel seen as kids, but I think the parents can look at it and go, oh, well, this is normal. This is a part of the process. You know, like this character, Ennui, is like bored all the time. And as parents, you're always like, do something, but it's a part of the teenage process, you know?
I feel like the Inside Out franchise and movies like Soul have a very unique place in just cinema in general, where they also teach adults as well. So what's something that you have taken away since you like it so much from either the first or the second film?
Yeah. A big message of this movie that I love is the learning how to have compassion towards your feelings. Because you see in here that all these emotions are trying to help. They're really trying to help Riley. And I know for me, when I was younger, and I even found myself doing now, you're trying to push emotions away, like, well, don't feel that, don't feel that. And it's like, no, you gotta like try to embrace them and realize that they're a part, they're trying to help. Now we have to kind of manage them, but they're not against us. They're trying to help, you know?
Sometimes there's too many. And you're
Yeah,
just
and
like, how do you
sometimes
deal with
there's
it?
too many and you gotta sit back and observe them,
Right.
you know, and not get overwhelmed by them.
And what's your favorite part of the film? Like being
Oh.
part of it, like what's your favorite?
Well, the process alone is something that's been really fun. I was fortunate enough to work with them on Toy Story 4, and so that just being in that kind of Pixar world is really magical. But just like, I feel like what Pixar does is so brilliant, and kind of like what I said before, it's the emotional life, how they have made it so accessible. Just to be a part of that. I mean, we as voice actors are a very small sliver of this pie. The artistry, the artists, all these people that work on it, they're the ones that really deserve the attention. But just to be a small part of it is a huge honor, huge honor.
So we have to ask, since you
Yeah.
have fear, what is
Sure.
your biggest fear?
Oh man, I need to be prepped with this question.
Right.
I would say my biggest fear, I mean, I'm a heights guy. I do not like heights. I don't care if it's 15 feet or 100 feet. I'm gonna feel like I'm dying. It's every man for himself.
Yeah.
I'm not protecting my family when it comes, just kidding. But heights really put me in a state of paralysis.
I understand that.
No,
Sometimes you don't wanna
skydiving,
look down.
no, it's just insane. I don't get it. Are you like a risk taker, like you don't mind them?
I'm like an adrenaline junkie.
Yeah,
in that
yeah,
way
yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit,
yeah.
But at the same time, I feel like,
Not.
especially if you're tall, like for some reason, I feel like taller people are still scared of heights in a weird way.
That's
That is
interesting.
odd.
I also, most of my nightmares are I'm way up and I'm about to fall and then I wake up.
Yes, and then you feel that feeling. Like,
Yes.
whoop,
See,
that jump. Mm-hmm.
we get each other.
I get it. I get it.
So, final question: if
Yeah.
you could add an emotion that you think would be relevant, maybe in Inside Out 3, perhaps, what would
Yeah.
you want to see?
I don't even know if it is courage an emotion?
Could be.
It could be. Yeah.
If they make boredom an emotion, surely.
Right.
Yeah, they made boredom. There's something about, yeah, I like courage. These are such good questions, guys. I really need to be prepped for these. I would say maybe joy is kind of this, but I like kind of like a silliness, like just where the freedom of just like letting loose.
Right.
Maybe we'll add that one. It's like Remember
go with the
Bing Bong?
flow.
Bing Bong was a little like that for
Yeah,
the
we were
first
just
one.
saying embarrassment sort of like looks
Yeah.
like Bing Bong in a way.
Don't you also love that he's pink? So when you're embarrassed, you kind of
You
go
go
Right.
pink and
because
red,
Isn't that
yes.
sweet?
Clever.
I know, really clever.
I
What would
love
be
it.
your guys' emotion that you would add?
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah, right.
No,
I gotcha.
hold on a second.
Flip side. You can see my anxiety monster in there. Like, freaking out. Hers would be empathy because she's like the type of
Empathy.
person.
Oh,
She's
empathy
the type
is
of person
good.
who like is so tuned in when someone's talking.
Yes.
Like, as soon as you say something exciting, she's like, and like it's almost like too expressive.
That's good. And Empathy's eyes might be like that because she's really
Envies,
honed
yes,
Right.
Yeah, I
Oh, yeah,
love
that's so
Envy.
you. That's so
in. Isn't that sweet? Ayo Adebari plays her, and she's so funny. Did you?
Oh.
Well, you guys did say the first 30 minutes.
Yes, we
Isn't
did.
that
We saw
just
it.
awesome?
I loved the secret vault part with the different animation
Makes
styles.
the values.
And
yeah.
they all put the main ones in like a bottle, like you bottle up your emotions.
We are suppressed emotions!
The sarcasm
so
is great.
sweet,
When they everything across the chasm sounds sarcastic. It's just genius.
Right? And I especially like, because you mentioned before how adults and kids kind of relate to it. Like
Yeah.
the family tree was like very small. Now that
Yeah.
she's older, it's like we all go
Yes.
through that stage where you just.
Did you also notice that part where the parents were in the distance and the friends were more in the foreground? Which is so true for that time.
So teenager.
yes, yes. The parents get forgotten.
Just don't look down and keep moving. She'll be okay, right?
50-50. Disney and Pixar's Inside Out 2.
There's a part 2? We're going!
Rated PG. Only in theaters June 14th. Tickets available now.